Alright, today I have two pieces of mail, and I'll just talk about my experiences at Goodwill last night. I decided, you know what, it's a tough day, might as well go there for a little bit. Spent not even $4. Ended up with what I would consider TTM fuel, or whatever you want to call it. A nice person found a whole bunch of postcards, and instead of me being super jealous, I found some more postcards. I found a book of postcards and another vintage Hawaii one, and I said, would you like to have that? And might have a contact for future if I do happen to see that person again. But he was just getting his postcard collection started, and he found a crazy ton of them, so congratulations to him. Yes, I would have liked to have found them, but you can't get them all. Most people don't grab the postcards and they're floating around there, so now there's like one more person to start taking all the postcards that are in the leftovers. What I found in the leftovers was this, and you're like wondering, why am I grabbing this? Well, this is an alphabet bingo card: ZZ, FF, WW, QQ, JJ, BB, RR, and VV. It's very possible I might send this out to somebody because I don't have an item for them to sign. It's very ridiculous and weird to send this out here, but it's very, very possible that one of these spots could be signed by this particular person here. And then in doing so, I'm going to say, hey, this is all I had. I looked on the internet. There was only $25 photographs, and many of them are already signed. Whether that's true or not, I don't know if that's really signed by them. And I said, do you have a photograph? And I'll throw that in there. It's very ridiculous. But again, it's a little bit different, something unusual, and it's not a blank piece of paper. So it was just, like I said, it was just a struggle for anybody to find anything. It was just so bad. So bad. Met up with some friends there, and that's really what it's all about, is just hanging out with friends. But again, my friends, you know, got there kind of late in the afternoon, hoping and praying that the media would come out. There was only a tiny amount of media and zero vinyl records. To nobody's surprise, still zero vinyl records. They're not even bringing out broken ones now. That's how bad it is. And they won't even do that. So this one came from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. I can't read that, what that says, but I think that says Pohl, P-O-H-L. That there's a Grand Rapids postmark there. Large size envelope. And then we have this one out of, it's upside down, Omaha, Nebraska. So there is that stuff there. So we'll get this larger one done first. I usually like to save the address and throw it in my little YouTube collection book here, but it's gotten so full I don't know what to do. I have hundreds of pieces of paper that I have saved to go in there. So what do we got here? Oh, this is cool. So it says, Henry, my guess would be at Augusta. Maybe the bunker on 2. Thanks for reaching out. Hope all's well. Dan Pohl. I said Don, but I meant to say Dan. Dan Pohl. So he has basically sticky noted that to my card. And this is one he probably doesn't see very often. This is the Fax Packs golf card. How cool is this? Fax Packs Golf. That is really neat. Very, very neat to miss, and I'll probably have to send him a thank you because he has sent me extras. So I'll send him a postcard, hopefully. But he has sent me, and I think I can't remember if he was the golf designer, because I said that there was a trading card of his where he's designed some golf courses. And so he has sent me this polecat thing here. With a golf course that he has, worked on / designed. Thanks for stocking the cat. Dan Pohl, PGA Touring Pro, designer of the Polecat Championship Golf Course. And it shows everything here, and he signed all of this stuff here. Very, very neat. Very, very neat. Very cool. And it's because I didn't, I might fit in a regular envelope, but just barely. But you see, I used another one of my little tricks here, a slightly larger envelope for return, and got another one. So very awesome. Those go in my golf binder if I can find a special page to put those in. I just got 8x10 pages yesterday. So I will be sending some sort of random postcard in my collection to Mr. Pohl. So very, very cool. And I have gotten his other cards before, but I can't remember if they were ones that I got in groups off of eBay or what happened. But very, very neat. And this is the last card that I technically needed. There could be another one out there. I think I might have mentioned that he might have a Miller Press card out there that I don't have. And then I'll be sending this postcard out just to an aunt and uncle of mine here, just this one of those Chevron cars there. But I was telling them that there was a series on YouTube that they need to watch about Route 66. I thought maybe they might be interested in that, so cover up their address there. But very cool that that is going out. This again, why I use postcards, because it's just a fun way to do other things here. I'll probably keep this little address piece with that. Will I save these stamps for all this together? Probably not. This stamp is canceled and this is ripped, so I don't really necessarily need to save those. And I think there's some cancellation on that one. There are some holes in there. Next autograph request here. I'll put this back with the thing here, so the nice little note there, very cool. So if you want to write to him, I suggest using a slightly larger envelope and talking about his golf courses. So that's how I got those. And like I said, this one came out of Omaha, Nebraska. And these are envelopes I procured at the Bins store. Again, they're used for airmail, stuff like that. But if you just put the right postage on it, then all is good to go, as long as it's a nice decorative envelope and it was fresh and clean. So probably another golf request here, and I believe it is. And I think these are unusual ones. No, these are not. Okay, these are just regular cards here. So Tom Seekman, and I did not know he signed. Nice bright yellow shirt there. You're with, you know, kind of the 90s era Dockers there, or whatever you want to call it. But Tom Seekman has autographed those. Very, very cool for the 1992 set. Very few people are working on the 92 set because it is a very daunting set. They work on the 91 because the 91s tend to be a little on the cheaper in the box side there. And then the 92 maybe not as printed as much, I don't know. And then the 90 set is just only 100 cards. I don't see people working on those very much, but work on all. I always say, if you're going to do the golf, work on all the sets you can physically find and afford at the same time, because a few years from now you're going to be kicking yourself that you have missed out on these free signers that have stopped signing or passed away. It does, you know, you can read, he's card number 40. And I just asked him if he wanted to keep one of those. They probably have more than enough of their fair share of cards. You know, they're sick of, you know, do you want to keep this sort of thing here? And that's our way of saying, oh, guess what? We know that you don't need that card, so you're going to send it back to me signed. And again, the reason why I have to is not because I bought to, it's because I got a box of them to build a set, and that was just an extra one. And I have thrown away my fair share of golf cards that I no longer needed. It was not worth me to send them out to people, because I figure that people should be getting their own golf cards unless they're already physically signed. So both of these will go in my binder, and if I so choose to, I can eventually give that one away to somebody. So there is that stuff there. Again, doing some card organization. Andy McGaff, again, I couldn't remember if he signed or what happened there, but that was just pulled out for a minute or two, and so that needs to go back in the binder. I don't have really many other stories or anecdotes. It was just like a tough day yesterday, and Tuesday will be, you know, a little bit more the same here. And I just make these videos for myself, and I edit them however I feel like. We'll just get through the weekend here. Again, it's a struggle to organize stuff. I don't really want to go through all of that, but look at that crazy amount of papers. That's just one of many. And it doesn't matter how many pieces of paper I use and how many pieces of paper I let leave the room here. There is always a crazy ton more that just show up. Just absolutely ridiculous tons. So I'm just gonna take it easy today, go through some stuff. I did some yard work this morning, cleared some brush and got rid of a bunch of dead branches, and it should be just a relatively a nice quiet day. And then next weekend is the big swap meet, so if anybody local can come to the swap meet and see me and my friend's table on Sunday. And I will try to bring some sports cards, but more than likely I will bring other stuff. The sports cards will maybe not out, and then if anybody asks about sports cards, I will have them, maybe in my car or something like that. So we'll get that figured out for next week. Summer is approaching, and thank you for watching.